the education system never be transparent because it has to take into account not on the fairness level but on the equity level, which means some people may be from rural area, they may not score full A, but because they have to recognize that they have done their best, therefore the system should also allocate. Because I think some of the concern coming is that if you're from rural area compared to someone coming from a family who is more wealthier, able to afford to send their kids for tuition and all that, that's why it cannot be a transparent system. So today we have a very special guest here. I think the topic today will be more on the student activism. So we have a very special guest who is a former leader. Perhaps maybe we can hear from you. You want to introduce yourself? Who are you?
Hi. Hi everyone, good day. I am Lim Jing Jet. You can address me as Jet, and I'm the current year 3 student of University of Malaya, and I'm studying law also. First of all, thank you, Sir Dylan, for giving me the chance of sharing my perspective as a former student leader.
Normal, discussion as a former student. So, Jet, maybe I call you Jet. So, where are you from actually? You're from?
I'm from Penang, so I'm currently studying in University of Malaya.
Okay, so I think your result must be very good for you to be able to get into UM.
Okay lah.
Okay. So, what stream are you from? Are you from matriculation? Are you from STPM? Are you from A level? How do you get into UM?
Yes, I studied in SMJK. Then after that, I studied in matriculation. Then luckily, I got chosen into law through UPU.
Science stream student or commerce stream?
Initially, I have science stream in SMJK. Then after that, I chose commerce stream during matriculation.
So you score 4 flats in matriculation?
Yes,
and luckily. Then you applied for UM and you got into that?
Yes.
You wanna maybe tell us what you get for your SPM, PMR, matriculation?
For SPM, I got 10A, and for matriculation, yeah. But
so you must be your best student in your batch.
No, I think there are also many good students in my campus last time.
So are you all this while from Penang, or have your family member moved anywhere?
Yeah, we are all from Penang.
So all this while you're studying in Penang, and then once you got your good result, so where do you study your matriculation?
Okay, I grew up since kindergarten. I already grew up in Penang, and during my matriculation, I also studied in Penang. And after that, during university only, I came to KL.
Okay, that's good, Jet. So maybe you want to tell us more. I'm very interested actually today to be able to interview you. So maybe you want to tell us about your involvement as a student leader in UM.
Okay, first of all, I am a former president of an active student organization. It is an active student organization that keeps on fighting for student rights and also voice out against injustice for 20 years. Yeah, already for 20 years. And I'm also the former vice president of the Student Union of University of Malaya. But I'm quite not involved in student activism already. But I still can, I will still feel grateful because of the chance given by the students that electing me become the student representative in University of Malaya. So I might share a bit about why I will get into student activism and why I will choose this pathway.
Okay, but before that, maybe a few disclaimers. Okay. So today, I think this podcast, we are not representing any political party. Neither does Jet here represent any or has any, intuition towards any political party. It is just a formal discussion on student activism. So perhaps we can hear more from you. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, sir. So, why I would get involved in this student activism, I think first of all, I feel very grateful because during my secondary school, I joined debate. Then, in our debate team, we have coaches. Then our coaches are from University of Malaya. They are studying law also, and they are from the debate team in UM also. Then the coaches, they inspire me a lot about the angle of discussing policy. When we discuss about policy, we will discuss about from many angles. Then I noticed that we can discuss the policy in a harmonious way, and a way that can shape the society in the long term in a long-term way, and actually it is benefiting us because we don't need to discuss the policy from the perspective of race or who we are. We are just discussing all the policy from the merit side. That's why it inspired me to study law, and also inspire me to voice out against many issues. Because I always witness that there are many injustices happening actually in Malaysia, but many of us choose to just ignore it, or we just choose to cover the thing under the carpet, although we know there's an elephant in the room. That's why I think it's important for us, especially we are the university students, to just voice out. Although it would not make a huge effect sometimes, but I think it is a long-term thing, and it is a continuous process for us as the university students, especially in University of Malaya, to continuously voice out. Yeah, we couldn't cause any change by 1% or 2%, but as a matter of fact, in these 10 years, 20 years span, I believe that we can make a bit of wave, and it also worth it already.
So can you tell us, like, when do you first join, maybe in the university, for the organization, the student organization? Is it during your first year or your second year? Because now you're in your third year, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. So I already heard about the student organization during my secondary school era, because I know it is a renowned student organization with its characteristic of always standing in front, protesting against injustice. Although people will label it as radical, but after my analysis, I think actually students should possess this characteristic by standing in front.
So you joined in your first year?
Yeah, I joined in my first year.
Okay, so are you like a member or what?
Yeah, during that time, I joined in my second semester during my first year. Yeah, because first semester I was occupied with law society stuff, and especially in our law faculty, actually it's very grateful for being in this faculty, because actually we can observe that all of us are so keen in discussing about the national policies, and also discuss about campus injustice. So I think that's a good platform for us to discover our ideology and discover our pathway, which student organization we want to choose. So eventually in semester 2, I decided to join this student organization because
full time in the second year.
Part time lah, because I was still involved in the law society.
Oh, so you were holding position as a committee member of the law society.
Yeah.
And also becoming a student leader at the same time.
Yeah, that time I was just a normal member.
Okay.
But after I finished my law society committee member tenure, so I discovered that during my year 2, I plan to have my interest in student activism. Therefore, I moved my pivot to there. So starting from
you stand for election, is it?
Yeah,
in your second year.
During the semester break, so the seniors, I feel very grateful for them, because they chose me to be the president of the student organization.
Okay, and then you stood for election.
Yeah, then I started to build my momentum for the election.
Okay, I just want to know, before you become a student representative, was there any activities that you have conducted, or you only start to conduct these student activities after you become the president?
Okay, so during I was the normal member, I have already participated in their protests. For example, during Labor Day. Yeah, there was a protest in...
What are you protesting?
There was a protest...
Shouldn't give a Labor Day to the labor.
We are voicing out for the labor's rights. Yeah, because there are still many issues among laborers. For example, internship. Yeah,
that has nothing to do with Labor Day, right?
That's why we voice out the issue during Labor Day, because it is related to labor's rights. For example, like internship, there are many interns that could not gain enough
internship.
Yeah,
placement.
Yeah. Okay. Then also, like, for example, many gig job, like
gig job, alright, maybe like, for those who doing Grab and all that.
Yeah. They could not gain enough safeguard from the government. So that are the thing I participated, and I heard from them.
How did you all sort of create this message to the campus, or to the incumbent government, or how?
Oh, actually, my student organization, it does not only participate in the campus activity, because one of our aim is to promote student awareness and participate in societal activities. So actually sometimes the protest is nationwide, so we will participate in it also. So for example, the protest I mentioned just now, it is the activity organized by national organization.
So you all like participate in that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good one.
Yeah, so for example, that's the activity I join, and I also join in other activity. For example, they voice out to show solidarity with the Palestinians. So I also joined that. I observe their passion and I observe their advocacy. So I started to gain more interest, because at first I just want to explore how this student organization works, because it already inspired me before I enter university. So after I take a step into it, I discovered that, oh wow, it can work like this actually. Actually, we students have so much
Impact,
impact.
influence.
Yeah, and we can do so much thing. So it started to sparkle my interest. Then I think
Okay, to
I can
add to
play a
your
role.
point, maybe I think in the legal profession,
Mm.
there's also an issue where pupillage, some work in Perak, Kelantan, they are being paid below the national minimum wage. Some being paid 800, 1,000. So this issue actually was being fought by, I think, the first to fifth year young lawyers, we call it. And there was actually a young lawyer movement. And what happened is the Bar Council actually issued a guideline to actually increase, or not increase, but to impose a rate. If let's say you're working in KL, minimum rate, you must be paid 2,000 or 1,008. Maybe if you're working in Perak, maybe a lesser 1,005. Instead of there is no guideline, because as a pupil, you're not governed under any employment act or any legal profession.
Yeah.
So the allowance is actually set by the master. So we can see the young lawyer movement, they also advocated for this as well.
Yeah.
So I think what you are doing, perhaps it would, when people start to going out in the society, perhaps when they take these certain early steps, it would also influence their decision making.
Yeah. So yeah, to add on, I think it's a good sign sometimes for us to voice up. Many people actually in this society, they will have a perception that voicing out or we step out actually no use, actually no effect at all. But I would like to say that actually we could not overlook the effect of standing out. We could not overlook the effect of voicing out, because this is a way of giving pressure to the government, and also a way of giving pressure to the administration that this issue should be solved. This issue should be heard. Otherwise, there are many stakeholders and there are many people being affected. So it is a positive sign given. So I think actually this is a step that very important that many people always overlook, and they will always undermine those efforts. And I feel this should be corrected, this attitude.
Okay, I just want to check with you. When you say campus injustice, so can you define what are the campus injustice? Let's just maybe we focus back into your University Malaya campus.
No problem. Okay, so for my student organization last time, basically we are voicing out against the most draconian thing is AUKU, which is Atta University dan College. So why we think that this is the most draconian act among our students? Because we think it is a root cause that cause all the problems for our students. Because
what are the things that AUKU preventing you all from doing? Preventing the student.
I need to give a brief fact that before the implementation of AUKU, which is before 1971, actually we students have our own student union, and we are independent from the administration. Furthermore, we can also take part in electing the administration, because we are a part of this tertiary education. Our role is important. Then we are also we were also actively deciding how's the campus landscape. For example, how's the bus arrangement, how's the canteen allocation. Yeah.
But do you think you want to take up that role? Wouldn't it take up your time to study?
Yeah, and we can refer to the UK system. If you are elected as the as the student representative, actually you can be exempted from the studying, which means that you can have 1 year
Off.
just focus on your campus administration. And I think that is very crucial for shaping the future leaders. But
So you want them to sort of be involved in the administrative for 1 year, maybe have a gap year, and then continue in maybe the second year.
this
or
is
sort of third year onwards,
this is one of the thing that we can refer. But I put back the topic to AUKU. That's
Okay,
why
AUKU, all right.
although the idea is a bit far that we want to have a exemption or what, but first thing first is we have a hurdle because we have AUKU. So the primary aim of AUKU actually is very.
So what does AUKU prohibiting the student from doing? You cannot speak in a campus, you cannot form an organization,
Okay.
but you still have organization, you can still take part in the election of a student representative.
Actually, AUKU has already been amended a bit because
Okay.
in the amendment, I believe in 2002, after 2020, there was an amendment that finally allowed the participation.
Students, right,
yes,
in political activity outside of campus, right?
yes. However, the power and the main deciding power is still on the hand of the administration. There's a clause saying that administration, they would form a disciplinary board
Okay.
just within themselves without involving the students, and they can have a disciplinary hearing without any students that decide the punishment for a student. If he,
For what?
like for example, it can be held arbitrarily. Means that if they think that you are guilty, then you are guilty.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they have the hearing
Yeah,
so that you can have a lawyer to represent you?
But in many cases, we can see that if they want to give you a letter of show cause, then they can just issue it. Then you are forced to issue it.
No, but you can still ask for a right to be heard and appear before the committee or tribunal and explain your case, right?
Yeah, but normally it will cause, I would say it will cause a chilling effect and also deterrence to the students, because not all students are legal students that they know their legal rights. Many students, they will be afraid because we can know the disciplinary board, the absolute power is in the hand of the administration without involving the students. Furthermore, there's a very huge problem is that the one who appointing our dean, our TNC is Minister of Higher Education, just solely Minister of Higher Education, and the TNC is the one who appoints the other TNs, the other
Night Chancellor.
Night Chancellor, the others. So it will form a chain that it is all related to the minister.
So what is the proposal coming from the student leader? Do you want to have a say in appointing the TNC?
First thing first, we can see that whenever there's a discussion or there's a policy making among the administration, these student leaders are not allowed to enter. Although sometimes they would let us to enter the hearing, but we don't have any voting power. And they just let the president of our student union enter the
the
policy
president of the
discussion
student
only.
union has a voting power.
No,
So
no at all.
just there as an observer.
Yeah. So what we propose is, first thing first, although the abolishment of AUKU is our final aim, but first thing first, we want to have equal power in decide the policy, because we believe that we students are already matured. We are not secondary students, we are not primary students, we are already an adult according to the legal definition. So we must have the capability to decide how this campus works and how is the life of students in this campus. Otherwise, there will be many arbitrary decisions by the administration, because they just think that is suitable to be done to control the students, and we student leaders and we students cannot have a say in the decision making process. So, let's say if our student leader can have a participation in the decision making, we won't have so many arbitrary decision already. For example, the recent one, the direct intake students are increased so many already that it even harm the reputation of University of Malaya, and not only University of Malaya, the whole tertiary education is affected. So why the university they wanted to implement this policy to increase more direct intake students? Because to be honest, they want to earn more money from that
Okay,
to
the
support their
argument I
system.
think coming from the university is
Yeah.
that they did not get sufficient funding.
Yeah.
This is of course the
Yeah.
argument coming
Yeah.
from the TNC or whatever. But what is your view or your proposal? Let's say we must have a basis, right? So university, let's say they do not have sufficient funding, you have to cover administrative costs and all that. If you don't collect it from the student, where do you get the money from?
Okay, so before that, I would like to discuss an alternative plan for the AUKU.
Sure.
Because maybe people will say it's too idealistic to abolish solely AUKU. So what is the act that governing the students? But we need to bear in mind that actually during 2020, there was already an alternative plan mentioned by the NGO and also opposition, which is not opposition, and also the government, because that time is Pakatan Harapan, which is we plan to have the Higher Education Act. During that time, we mentioned it as 2020 Higher Education Act to replace the AUKU totally. It is an act that we refer to the other jurisdictions such as UK, and we plan to implement a system that involves students in the decision making process, and the appointing
the whole
power.
thing about this student activism to have the abolition of AUKU is actually you want a voice of the student,
Yeah,
to also involve in decision making, or at least have some rights to vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the foundation pillar of our student activism, I think, is we want to have campus democracy and student autonomy.
Democracy in UM, what?
But it is not a full democracy.
Parties, you have various organizations or student party, they're contesting against each other.
Yeah, but
to be elected.
What I want to say is, although UM has this thing, but it is the result that our seniors fought for it, and actually it is a symbolic rights, or it is just a symbolic right, and it is still an illusory right, because it was not guaranteed in any legislation, because the final saying power is still in the hand of administration according to AUKU. So actually it is in a very dangerous position. If one day the administration decided to disband all the organization with their due cost, they could have any argument for it. It is feasible actually. Furthermore, we could take a look at other university in UM, like USM. They are still called Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar.
In UM?
In UM, we are called Kesatuan Mahasiswa, because we fight for it. We want to change the name.
Wow, so you managed to change the name.
Just very symbolic only, we change the name, but actually we are still
change the name without any changes in the structure and all.
Yeah, we can have our own constitution, but the constitution is symbolic only, because the constitution actually is not so recognized by the administration. It is
recognized by the
our constitution of
UM.
Because they still implement their own constitution, and
so you have two sets of constitution.
Yeah, actually that's the current situation.
Why do you want to create your own constitution?
Because
don't adopt the incumbent constitution.
Because we think it is important to have this first step to create our own constitution, and it could be seen as a bargain and an effort of us to fight for the rights. So back to the thing that if we see other university, actually it is still a huge problem for campus democracy, because there are no people at there fighting for things. So in UM, I can say we are very grateful, because we have fought a long journey, and right now you can see many parties are participating in the campus election. But
do you have any parties that appear in your era that you can talk about? Maybe just a name, one or two names.
Like Umeni.
Okay.
And apart from that, like Neosiswa, Democrat.
Democrat is still there.
Yeah, Democrat is still there.
It's my era, I think, after I've left UM, only then appears Democrat.
So actually, we are feeling grateful because there are many parties, but still it is a huge systemic problem because
what are the systematic problems?
like the AUKU is restricting the AUKU is restricting the rights, and the this decision making power is still in the hands of the administration. So that is the thing
So
we
what
are
are you
afraid
all
of.
trying to push then? Assuming right now you have the power,
Mm.
assuming right now AUKU is abolished, actually what do you all want to push for? What are the reform agenda you want to put
Right. If we have finally achieved the abolishment of AUKU,
Okay.
so we can have the decision making power is equally divided between students and administration. So that is a fair thing. So after that, we could have the robust mechanism that ensure that all the student rights are safeguarded. Because
What are the student rights you're talking about?
for example, we could see that there will be no arbitrary guideline. For example, university concert guideline being implemented, and the policy form, like the increase of direct intake students or the increase of fees of direct intake, will be carried out consulting the students first.
Wow.
Yeah. So
But isn't this an administrative decision?
this
let's say they require 10 million to run the operation cost, but the student, they say we can't be imposing that high because we are public, we have a government institution. But the problem is that the government is not giving sufficient budget, and
actually
you still lack 5 million.
we considered the issue before. So
How
we
do
can
we
see that
consult
it is a tripartite solution, the tripartite committee that should solve this problem, because we could see this issue is in a bigger picture, because it is not involving only the university administration, and it is even involving the Ministry of Higher Education.
Mhm.
So the university, they should take a crucial role in moving the student representative and also the Ministry of Higher Education in discussing this issue, because I believe that it is just a matter of political will of whether you are willing to put a bit of subsidy into the higher education, because we have done a analysis before. According to all the the financial allocation, if we reduce a bit from the from the from the corporate, and we can from the corporate side, and the GLC side, the revenue there actually can be covered for the tertiary education without the university increase the direct intake students. It is feasible. We have done the analysis before, but we just don't know that why the university, they insisted to increase the direct intake students.
So have you proposed this finding to the the what do you call Senate or whatever?
Yeah, we have proposed this to
What is their reaction to this?
management. That's why I said that maybe the public was not involved in the discussion process with the management before. But for us, the active student leaders, it is a disappointing process when we always trying to engage with the management, because they will always just accept our proposal, but after that, it will become nothing at all.
So basically, they take in your
paperwork
and they just slip it under the carpet again.
Yeah. That's why the abolishment of AUKU is really important, because
So you're basically
it is a recognition of our student
your
rights.
student leaders, are fighting for the students' interests and all this reform, but when it comes to you all trying to bring that reform, yes, it is a paperwork that has been submitted in, but nothing has been done. They just ignore your proposal, your reform.
This is a big issue because I'm talking about direct intake students. But actually, we can see, if today I want to state out all the minor issues, actually the outcome is the same. Like the repair of our college accommodation, the distribution of how the students are being selected into the college accommodation, also an issue. And how's the bus arrangement to accommodate more students more smoothly? How's the election system? All the things, we can say that all the things that always be discussed with the management, but there are no any improvement. We need to always push them. We need to keep on giving them pressure. Therefore, the public will always have a perception why the students of University of Malaya so active in protesting.
Okay.
Why are we so radical?
Actually, not radical. You're not protesting. You're just voicing out against certain dissatisfied work being done.
That's the thing. Because at the end of the day, we are also hoping for a positive outcome to be done for the students. However, due to the existence of AUKU, we are not in the equal position with the administration. The administration is always at this level.
But do you need to be
and we are at this
equal
level
in order to achieve your objective
I
of
believe
what you are fighting for?
I believe so. Because at the end of the day, if we are emphasizing on campus democracy, if the public is thinking that this is an important element, and I think that is a common value that we are acknowledging, so we should be in the equal position with the administration.
Have you all presented your reform agenda to the Deputy Minister of Higher Education? Assuming the Minister of Higher Education is quite busy, but usually the minister in charge for the unit UN and all that, it will be the Deputy Minister of Higher Education. I think currently it would be YB Adamatli. Have you all sort of submit this proposal?
Yes, certainly. And to be honest, I was already not so involved in student activism, but I still
during your era, have you meet him?
Yeah.
Has he come to UN?
During my era, the deputy minister was YB Mustafa.
Oh,
the one from
Sabah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was not YB Adam Adli.
To UN?
We went to the ministry to initiate the visitation, and we also hand in the proposal. Because that time we are voicing out against the direct intake issue, and we are voicing out against the UPU
what was
system.
His response to that?
He
agree. He will raise it up with the cabinet. I mean, maybe to the minister, so that the minister can raise it with the cabinet.
Yeah, to be frank, we could always hear the same response from minister and the administration. We will take this into our consideration. The typical response, but after that, we would see nothing happen, nothing change.
No, do you all follow up with him?
Follow up, we email, we initiate the phone call, and we always went to parliament to pay a visitation, and the thing will always be the same.
Visit the parliament.
And I can say, actually, I was just involved in about 2 years like this. But you can see that before me, there are already so many student leaders involved in this process, and
you're basically continuing
the
process because they may have stopped to becoming the so-called student leader. You took over, but the agenda is still there that you have to continue to push forward for your student party. So you can imagine it is very difficult for our students, because no matter how we push that hard, we drive to parliament, then we drive to the ministry, then because we are still studying, but we still did this thing, but no change at all, no improvement at all. The so-called YB or minister in the parliament, do they want to meet you in the parliament? For the minister proposal that you want to submit to them?
We always will lobby the.
So did they okay, I'm gonna meet with this student? Did they come up and shake your hand? Did they accept your proposal? And all that?
It happened before. It occurred before. Like YB Wong Kah Wo, YB Lim Hui Ying, they accepted before our proposal. But also nothing happened.
Lim Hui Ying was deputy finance minister, right? Why did she come up?
Because actually we just tried.
It should be Wong Kah.
We just tried our best effort to lobby all the YB we saw in the parliament.
So you met them.
So
we
met them.
Submit to them.
Yeah.
And so far, is there any response from the ministry?
As we could see in the parliament right now, actually
is there any debate even on the
law? There's just one YB that I respect. YB Chow Yu Hui, he always fought for us.
On AUKU.
On AUKU, and also for the direct intake issue and the issue about STPM, the matriculation STPM. He was the one always voicing out against those issues.
What is that issue about?
For the STPM matriculation, it is also an agenda, a reformation agenda that our student organization keep on fighting on. We emphasize that the matriculation system, the pre-university selection system should be fair, the university selection system. Because right now the situation is the selection system is not transparent. We don't know how it works.
STPM, you have matriculation, correct?
We have Asasi, we have matriculation, we have STPM, we have MARA.
Okay. Perhaps we can just maybe discuss a matriculation.
And STPM.
Currently, and STPM, maybe the current policy is that I think what the incumbent government has already implemented is that if you have a full A for matriculation, and it's subject to debate whether 9A or 10A. So as long as you have a full A, you would automatically get a placement in the UPU system. So is there any issue that you all see and you want to like sort of fight for a reform?
All right. So regarding this issue, actually, in our perspective, we think that it is just a political suite, and it is just some political.
Well, the student works so hard,
trick
9A and 10A, but
for
shouldn't they get a placement?
They should get, but eventually the root cause of the unfairness about the university selection and the pre-U selection is the unfairness between matriculation and STPM. I will elaborate on this point, because even though the 9A students are the full A students are automatically allocated into matriculation, it is just, how to say, for a short-term benefit, but it is not a long-term benefit in the picture of the education of Malaysia.
Why do you say so? Is there any risk to that?
First thing first, we need to acknowledge the why would the matriculation exist? Okay. Because during last era, it was stated that this pathway is to assist the Bumiputra to enter the education easier. It was stated by the Menteri Pendidikan that time.
So how is it now sort of affecting the STPM? Well, the Chinese got the 10%.
Okay, first thing first, I would say this is not about race or about anything.
Fair.
It is about whether should we apply equality and should we apply like equality, and should we apply merit in the education system? And I think the answer is should. So for STPM, first, their syllabus is internationally recognized, because it is recognized by Oxford also, actually.
But it means STPM you do well, you can apply to Oxford, Cambridge.
Because there's a committee, Oxford committee that they recognize the international syllabus, then STPM is one of it. But if we look at matriculation, actually it is just the syllabus that recognized by our own nation. It is not internationally recognized. This is the first thing. And second thing, about the syllabus wise, if you look at STPM syllabus, actually it is very hard compared to matriculation, because it is aimed to train the students for them they can continue their path to the university more smoothly. But matriculation is just to assist the students for them to easier enter the university, which is...
So you're saying like this because you're also from matriculation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Humbly saying, I am from matriculation, but this pathway is really easier to compare to my STPM friends, because I have many STPM friends. I have heard their stories, and I think, although I'm the beneficiary from this system, from this institution, but I think it's quite unfair, because
to be fair to you, are bright student and all that. So what is the impact from this automatic recognition of automatic admission into the UPU or a placement into university for all these full A matriculation students? Isn't it fair? You know, they got full A. You can't be telling this student they don't deserve a spot in the UPU, right?
They deserve. What if we view the picture as the long-term picture? What should the government do? Because the government actually can do a more long-term plan, in our opinion.
But does it affect the intake of STPM students?
Yeah, it is infecting the STPM students, because when more students can be automatically allocated into matriculation, the quota is still same, 90 and 10. But the thing is, the pool will become bigger. There will become more matriculation students. So when more matriculation students will be prioritized first, because impliedly there was a system that they will prioritize matriculation in the UPU compared to STPM. So more students will be prioritized first, and it will cause that STPM students will be marginalized more.
I do agree with you that on this point, where the current government, even though they have successfully implemented this automatic admission for matriculation students, actually they are taking away some of the spot that belongs to STPM students. And of course, those from matriculation, they will be very happy. But there's also a question, how about this impact towards the STPM student and all that? So have you all voiced this out in your student activism as well?
Yeah, we have also actively lobby all the parliamentarians as we could. Like for example, and as a result, it was just the YB Chai Hui actively
I
voicing
think
out.
he did mention that in the parliament.
Yeah, he did mention it.
About the intakes for STPM
Yeah.
student, would it affect? But this is sorry to say, YB Chao Yui is from DAP. The decision also come from DAP, you know. So does it mean that he doesn't agree with his party's position on this?
Actually, I think
Did
it's
you discuss with him on that?
I don't know how it works actually inside the DAP system. I think actually that is a healthy democratic practice. We can see that because as a backbencher, you can and you should check and balance your government, even though it is your own party. And I think that is a healthy democratic practice. So I see no problem for that. I think all backbenchers should.
So what is your
should refer to
alternative to this? Do you agree that this automatic admission for the matriculation student who score full A's, 9 or 10 A's, are they entitled to an automatic admission, or should it be a balance between admission of students from both matriculation and STPM without having this criteria of full A's?
For short term, definitely it is a happy situation for the students.
Of course, what? There are a lot of promises not being fulfilled. Of course, they have to do something.
Yeah. But for long term, we can see that the STPM students are getting more sidelined. But the first thing I think is there should be a transparent and equal
The education system
distribution.
can never be transparent because it has to take into account not on the fairness level, but on the equity level, which means some people may be from rural area. They may not score full A, but because they have to recognize that they have done their best, therefore the system should also allocate them. Because I think some of the concern coming is that if you're from rural area, no matter how hard you study, you may only be able to produce a result of 3.7 compared to someone coming from a family who is more wealthier, able to afford to send their kids for tuition and all that. They may be able to get 4.0. So the system also had to take into account some of these people from the rural area. So and that's why it cannot be a transparent system. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Actually, I agree with there are some socioeconomic status we need to take into consideration, but I still think that could be done transparently because
still want a transparent.
Yeah,
because when you do it transparently, people would challenge the notion that you're not being fair. So a student obtaining 3.7 from let's say Guam Musang.
Okay, I would like to
get in the UAP.
I would like to explain this case.
Okay.
Because actually we can put weightage on the socioeconomic status. For example, the result is not the 100% weightage of you getting prioritized by the UPU. For example, the result just occupy a 70% weightage because the other 30% can be the socioeconomic status. If you are from the rural area, you can gain more weightage. You can gain a higher weightage, which means that if you are rural area, you can gain a 30% weightage. Because you really need to pay more effort to get a result, so you get a 30% weightage. But if your socioeconomic status is more privileged, you will gain a lower weightage. So I think this system is considering your result. So we are considering merit plus your socioeconomic status as well. We have discussed this policy before because we think we couldn't just consider the part of merit, and we should also put in mind the socioeconomic status. However, we should not ever discuss about the race and also the mangsa. So I think the 90-10 is still unreasonable. And the division between matriculation and STPM is also unreasonable.
What is your ratio then? You must have a ratio. What?
Ratio about
the division. Let's say you say 90-10 is an unreasonable ratio. What is your proposal? Okay, my 1585. I think Pakatan was fighting for 80-20, right? Okay, do you agree with that?
To be honest, my proposal will be not accepted by
everyone.
Because it is too radical. Because during
so
discussion,
no ratio, only based on background.
Is abolishing matriculation.
Okay.
Because we think that only that we can have a fair education system.
Everyone enter STPM.
If you want to have vocational study, you can go to vocational path.
Okay.
Then Asasi may still be having because
so
it is
instead of them going, but Asasi is not for all subject, right?
yeah.
Some is
So
for
so
law, some is for I think.
so I think we can put
commerce
Asasi outside the picture first. We just discussed matriculation STPM. So matriculation should be abolished at this context. We just remain STPM. Only that we can
No,
have
but the
fairness.
reason why they have matriculation is because the percentage of the Malay student entering is lower when they go for STPM. That's why matriculation, the standard may have been lowered down a bit so that it gives them an opportunity to go for UITM and all that.
Yeah, so in that case,
This is this is a political discussion.
yeah. So
On an objective view, what do you think?
I'm feeling quite discouraged because we still put in the discussion of race into this purely education
It's not
system.
race. It is a background. For example, let's put aside race. Some people they may be from a rural area.
Yeah.
Their family member may be the petani
Yeah.
and all that.
Okay.
So they may not be able to send their kids like the one who is able or affordable to send for good tuition teacher and all that.
Okay.
I think this is a point that we have to really tackle.
We have conducted survey about the statistic of B40 and M40 and T20. Although that is not the reasonable benchmark for the socioeconomic status, but we have done the statistic before, and we can say that there are many B40. I quite kind of forgot the statistic because that is not in my statistic right now. We can see that there are also many B40 among Chinese, especially among India. There are also many B40, and right now the B40 of Malay is getting decreased and decreased. So we could say it is a problem of socioeconomic status. Like what Sir said, we should put socioeconomic status as the benchmark only. But we should never put the race into the discussion of the political decision. Because if we say that the chance of the rural Malay will get lower entering university, so we give them metrics, it is unfair to the rural Chinese and rural Indian also. So I agree that we should help the rural people, but it will never be assessed based on your skin color and your race. It is based on your
If you have
socioeconomic
some
status.
viewer from rural area, family member who are wealthy, they're gonna scold us.
Yeah.
Do you think the rural people are poor?
So the wealthiness will still be
the socio-economic
thing.
status of these people, irregardless from rural or urban, should be given more priority.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can see that is a very hard
But
thing to postulate.
abolishment of matriculation, assuming on a principle level it can be accepted, that every go for this common system and all that. But on a political level, it would be seen as a challenge to destroy the rights of perhaps Bumi Putra or Malay of entering the tertiary education as well. Because the system is there to assist this group who are maybe socio-economically not from a good starting. So it may not well be received. But this is just a discussion purpose, alright?
So to add on a point, I think this discussion is vital, and we must have a open attitude to discuss this thing. You can have an argument, but I accept that you have a valid argument because my comrade, he did state this thing during a press conference, but let's guess the result. He was being scolded, and the people even reported this to the police, and he was threatened in the police station. Yeah, luckily he was not charged, but it caused chilling effect to him.
He wasn't charged.
He wasn't charged. He was just questioned in the police station.
And then just dismissed.
Yeah. So it's kinda sad to see the discussion will even get so much outrage among the public, and I think that should not happen because that's just a valid discussion.
On this. Just now you did mention the saluran, right? What is your opinion on the issue of Edward Wong? Remember Edward Wong, the student who scored 4A STPM? He wanted to study accounts in UN, and then it just become a sense viral news when I think MCA was helping him to create an issue out of it. Even the president was questioning the saluran. What was, I think it was last year, right, or 2 years back? Last review intake. Yeah, how was the reaction coming from the student representative? Because he wanted to enter UM.
Okay, so actually I was not involved in the in the thing already during that that
But do you
incident.
have like what
but
is the position of the students group
Okay.
and all that?
but I witnessed my comrade, they are still fighting for the issue. So
So what are they fighting? Is it they're saying the intake is unfair or what?
yeah, still the same thing like the aforementioned reformation agenda. This intake system is not transparent. That's why it cause this problem to
How
happen.
is it not being fair? Because the intake, what I've heard from the government, is actually an intake to accept international students. So actually, when we open up to international students, they just want to earn from international student on the foreigner fee, which means it's a bit higher than what they charge the local. That's one. Number two, with the intake of foreigner student, it can help to increase the ranking of the university. And this is a requirement if any university wants to have their ranking to sort of be jump up to a higher spot. And this happens in NUS, Hong Kong U, and all that. So instead of them giving it out for free, they're actually opening this so-called stream, saluran, to have this international student. And at the same time, English is called killing two birds with one stone. I have the international student to increase the ranking. At the same time, I also earn international fee from these international students.
Okay. So
That is the argument coming from the university.
yeah, I think that is answering the saluran terbuka thing.
Correct.
But our Edward Wong is applying for the UPU.
Correct. He didn't get it. But what happened is that I think his family went and applied for saluran terbuka and he got it.
So
of
you
course,
can
he has
see
to then pay 10 times more.
Yeah, you can see it's quite pathetic because while his result is already so excellent that our UPU still could not accept it. Then he need to try his best to fight with other foreigners, to compete with other foreigners. That's why we say that it is causing so much injustice to the STPM students. While your syllabus is already so hard.
He's an SCPM student, you know?
Yeah, he's an STPM student.
So you're saying that the metrics sort of took away his spot.
Somehow.
But there's a discussion also on the subject that he taught, even though he scored a full 4A. But it's an easier subject compared to the rest. I don't know how is the formula or the algorithm. There seems to be a sort of a yardstick. If you're taking science subject compared to someone taking literature or whatever subjects, the system would favor more those from the science stream or whatever.
But the thing is, if this is a valid argument, but we should see it is stated as the explanation by the UPU system, but it is still not stated.
Actually, there's not much explanation from the TNC to the UPU is a system, you know. So they cannot explain on the system. The one who should explain is the university.
I think
UPU... They don't want to decide through the Senate. They want to accept the student.
Yeah, the first thing is the universities and the UPU, actually, they could also...
No, but it's a system.
Yeah, it's a system.
So MOHE cannot come up with a statement to say, yeah, we favor, he cannot... I think they did come out on the total ranking. There was one statement on Edward Wong about his ranking, at what rank he was ranked. And that's all they can do. And I do agree, because this is a system. How do you accept a system to tell that they're doing wrong or they're doing right? They can only tell you this is how the system works. And you've got to come up with your own conclusion.
So we questioned before actually about the ranking and why the subject, like the argument why the subject are not favorable. However, what we wanted to hear is the valid argument and the valid explanation that why the subjects are not the subjects that could make him accepted into his degree.
So that future reference, it can become a future reference for students who really want to pursue accounting in UM. They would then prioritize on those subjects that can make them at least has a chance to fight for that spot in it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but no matter how, they will be harder to fight with matriculation students. I'm not here to undermine matriculation students, but it is a reality. So we must put this reality into political consideration.
Since you're from matriculation, there is also that point where they would take 10%, is it? As a core curriculum, as your marks to determine your entry into to apply UPU and enter into any government university. Is it really that easy to get that 10 points from your core curriculum activity as a matriculation student compared to SCPM?
Yeah, because if we just attend an online seminar, in matriculation context, if you have a seminar with other matriculation, it is already considered as a national
So you got full
thing.
marks.
You automatically get 10 marks for that. But if you are a STPM student, even though you do a competition with other STPM institution, if it is in your state, you are just a state competition. And if it is with other state, it is sometimes they will just recognize it as inter-school, but it is not nationwide. So furthermore, the chances of STPM competition getting held is lesser than matriculation. So you can see they not only their syllabus are hard, they also very hard to get high mark, and their curriculum also not so easy to get 10 marks. And they are not even getting prioritized by UPU. So that's a very multiple damages to the STPM students who should get prioritized while their syllabus is internationally recognized.
I think right now Edward Wong has ended up in USM.
Yeah.
Well, he could have got into UM, but I think the backlash that he received may have caused him to just I just go USM. At the end of the day, I just want to become an accountant.
I could just say Edward Wong is just one of the victim that we see because he voiced out. But there are still so many silent victims that they choose to suffer their life.
No, I think after they've seen that incident, they won't dare to come out.
Isn't it? This is the first thing.
He's supposed to be a hero, but I think based on the video that went viral, a lot of people criticize him. You're not good enough at all that. But from his perspective as a STPM student, I'm an STPM student, I would be very sad because why I should be, sort of being hurled like that with all this criticism. Despite I'm from STPM, But to be fair, I mean, his era and my era is a little bit different. I think his era has a semester kind of exam. My era is a one-off. We call it, you do or die.
I see.
This one, you do die, it can revive again in your second semester, third and all. But the conclusion is that at least he's still studying.
And then just still one more injustice. STPM student, you study 2 years. While matriculation is a fast track. You just study for 1 year.
No, because the syllabus is more.
Yeah, syllabus is more and harder.
Like the sejarah that we have studied, all books, sejarah Islam, then sejarah what?
Well, pengajian for matriculation don't have
2 books.
Yeah, we don't write sejarah.
This take,
we just have pengajian matriculation. We just recorded. We just need to record the video of resume. I'm not undermining matriculation students. I clarify again, but that's the reality we need to face.
No, what he's trying to point is that the requirement or the standard of studying required to qualify for a matriculation, you only need to do A 1, 2, 3. But maybe in STPM, the timeline is longer and you have to study longer and you have to study more books and all that. Of course, I think the government currently is also undergoing some revamp. I think the latest one is instead of you apply 8, or they announce your 8 choices, right? Now they would just announce your top choices or the choice, only that one choice that you apply. Let's say you apply 8, but they would just announce that one institution so that you won't be able to do comparison like I've applied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I got number 3, choice number 4. I think that is the latest coming up from the Ministry of Higher Education. But this issue of student admission into government university has always been there because of the number of students growing and also of the limited number provided by the institution. Unless they're going to create a new branch, Unless they want to create a new branch. And it will also involve a lot of taxpayer money. And you're talking about all this saluran. If they have enough money, they won't go for saluran.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Really hard, but I think still need the collaboration between the discussion of the students. You need to involve students as stakeholders because actually we are the true stakeholders of this system. We know how it works. They also know how it works.
So why do you think the current Deputy Higher Education Minister Adam Atli cannot amend the AUKU?
That's a
He
good.
could have amended in and say we allow the student reps to have one vote. That one vote is basically cannot override the majority votes. Right?
Mm,
Why can't he just allow that?
that's a good question. I want to ask him too.
Or you want to ask him?
Ah,
Okay. So how about PT-PTN? What is your view? Do you think PT-PTN, is it the issue on the exemption of PT-PTN for first class honors or that? Or what?
PT-PTN issue actually, I think.
Have you all fought for that? Is there any reform you want to do towards
So
PT-PTN?
I think it is still acceptable right now. It's not sparking so much of discussion among us because we think the problem is still not visible. Yeah, it's still minor. Yeah, PT-PTN is not a so huge issue for us to fight right now. Yeah.
Okay, it's not an issue. So what are the issues that, I mean, as a student rep or in the past that you have fought for? How about corruption issue and all that? Azam Baki? No, there's a quite reason. How about last year? I think there was also issue about him. I mean, apart from him, what are the issues that you have sort of fought for?
So we have also fought before for the concert guideline. So there's also
concert guideline,
yeah,
is it?
yeah. Actually, the concert guideline is applicable. Was applied to the all university, not only UM. Actually, I wasn't actively involved in the in the voicing out because it happened before my tenure. Yeah, so my senior, I witnessed them fighting so harsh. They even wanted to initiate the judicial review if the ministry they insisted to.
So when you say fighting, they're
implement.
writing a lot of letters,
Yeah.
meeting a lot of officers and all that.
Yeah.
Not the physical fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could see they trying to make the university into more conservative is a thing that sparked the concern also actually. Yeah. So
Okay.
what I'm trying to say during the very early agenda, the participation of our students in the policy decision making is to prevent this thing from happening. Because they try to do it without informing us. But we discover there's a guideline about it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So they didn't tell you or
Yeah.
or-
They just wanted to implement it. And right now, actually in UPM and other university, I don't know. I know UPM and other university, there's already this guideline happening. Yeah, because the ministry they try to do a trick. They move the power to the student union of each university for them to decide themselves whether want to implement this guideline or not. Yeah, so our student union really resisted this guideline, so it is not implemented in our university. But other student union, they have already agreed with it.
Okay. So if you have a last word, what will you tell your successor? How should they continue this student activism? If you have a chance.
Okay, I think
Since you already have the experience, you've gone through this period, what do you want to tell your junior who take over from you? What do you expect them to sort of continue on your reform, on your struggle and all?
actually I think not only the one who actively participate in student activism, I think all university students should bear in mind that we are really the conscience of this society. We play a huge role in checking and balance, and we play a huge role in criticize not only the campus issues but also the national issues, because we are the one who have the critical thinking skill. We are the one who are in the age of having idealistic mindset. It is a very important thing because during enter society, we will witness we will just suffer a lot of things. Then finally we lose the ability to critical thinking, or we already accept the reality. The thing is so. Nevertheless, when we still possess this critical thinking ability, I think yeah, that is our era to just voice out anything. Although it may be wrong, although it may be sound very not realistic, but it's still worth a try for us to shake the politician, to shake the administration, to tell them that there are still many alternative options to discover. So I would like to say a thing that maybe just now my proposal or the proposal you all always heard from the student representative are so not realistic, but we are just trying to provide an alternative option for the society and the campus to become better. because we think that we should not always be framed and be confined in one perspective. There are so many perspectives to discuss the policy making, and I love that. And I still think the other people, the other students, should have this mindset in their mind.
Okay, thank you, Jen. I think we're already almost an hour. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
thank you so much for doing this podcast.
Thank you, sir.
We will explore more in the future. All right. Okay, so if you like this episode, do like, share, and subscribe, so that we can have more young-minded people to come forward and share their experience with you. Thank you.